Also working new details on the fallout from Governor Lincoln Chafee's budget address.
You saw it live right here on WPRI 12 last night. The governor proposing a series of sweeping spending cuts and tax hikes to eliminate an estimated deficit of nearly $300 million.
Among the highlights of his plan, the much talked about 1% sales tax on various items and services that are currently tax exempt.
The governor is also proposing reducing Rhode Island's sales tax from 7% to 6% to help retailers become more competitive with neighboring states.
And Governor Chafee also wants state workers to increase their pension contributions and says a small number of state jobs could be eliminated.
But one area he's not proposing cuts is in the area of education.
And today the governor hit the road to tout his budget's investment in local schools.
Eyewitness News reporter Nathan Nwosu joins us live now with new details from the Providence Mobile Newsroom.
Well, Mike, Susan, Governor Chafee visited schools in Providence and Westerly today, promoting his plan to increase funding for state school districts. He says spending on education will be money well spent.
Good morning.
Just 14 hours after giving his budget address, Governor Lincoln Chafee was out at Gov Chafee High School in Providence, promoting the new funding formula for state education aid. Chafee's budget proposal calls for $1.1 billion for K-12 education next school year.
Our future depends on good schools. I firmly believe that, and this is just a first step in a long-term commitment to our schools.
State Education Commissioner Deborah Gist says Rhode Island was the only state in the country without a funding formula. Now, with an education funding formula, the state will consider the number of children enrolled in a city or town and the level of poverty before distributing money to school districts.
We have two districts right next to each other in Rhode Island that in the current way that funding is distributed, they are very similar in size, almost identical, similar community backgrounds, except that one has higher poverty, and the district with the lower poverty currently gets twice as much state aid. So our distribution of funding for schools was really inconsistent, not equitable.
From kindergarten to college, improved education is a top financial priority. The governor's budget also calls for an additional $10 million for colleges and universities. And while the governor wants to spend more on education, he is also proposing more than $150 million in new taxes. Coming up new at 6, we speak to business owners and Rhode Islanders like you about the impact those new taxes would have on their wallets. Live with the Providence Mobile Newsroom, I'm Nathan Nwosu, Eyewitness News.